Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Yes, I'm alive. I'm still hanging in there. Still kind of healing and processing from my kidney infection that has taken a toll on my body, and of course I still have to work. So working and processing and healing through all of that is very challenging. So I know I said I would do a video on my hands and stuff, and sorry if you see something going across the screen. There is a fly or some shit that just doesn't want to die. So sorry about that. So yeah, like I said, I know I was going to go into detail with my hands, but I actually have a story time for you guys. And you know, this one I haven't really talked about much because at the time I had really mixed feelings about this, and I still do to this day, actually, looking back. So it's another high school story time. So if you guys have been following me for the past year and a half, you have heard plenty of stories from my time in my high school of all the shit I went through. Well, this just kind of, I don't know, I don't even want to say put the icing on the cake. It just made me feel a type of way. So come grade 12, so I was busy doing the high school and the college at the same time, and literally getting suspended in between time and being told, I was a disappointment, that I was a bad student, yada yada yada. So, lo and behold, my surprise when I get called to the office one day. Of course, I was expecting I was going to get yelled at, in trouble for, I don't know, breathing. And they literally told me they signed me up to be a student ambassador, and I would be giving tours to new incoming students for the following year. And, like, my jaw hit the floor. And a lot of you guys are probably saying, what the fuck? Same. Like, honestly, I didn't know. I thought it was a joke. I was like, are you bullshitting me? Like, I didn't say that. I was thinking that. But I was like, well, what do you mean? And this was one of the vice principals that told me this. And I'm like, are you, like, joking? Like, what's up? And they're like, no, we want you to be a student ambassador. You have really good grades, you're also going to the whole college thing, you got the scholarship, and, we just really think that this would be good for students coming in to see. And me kind of just being over everybody's bullshit at this point was just like, well, last week you were told me that I was a bad student and suspended me, gave me an in-school suspension for, like, looking the wrong way. And you really want me to give tours to incoming students? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what if I declined? And they're like, you can't decline. I'm like, it's, what? What are you talking about? Like, I have rights as a human being. I can say no. They're like, well, it's too late to do that. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, well, this could look good. Like, this would look bad if you don't do it on, like, well, because here in, like, Ontario or Canada, when you go into colleges, they kind of look back basically at your last year. Like, I know they do this in the States too, last year of school and your accommodations and all that stuff. And, I was getting awards for certain classes and whatnot, surprisingly. But like I said, I was getting good grades. Surprisingly, I was literally dragging my ass and, doing the best I could. Anyways, so I ended up being a student ambassador. Do you know how fucking uncomfortable that was? And to literally, because I had somebody else, so those like two, like, I don't know, those a whole bunch of ambassadors, but then I had those two ambassadors per group, so there was somebody else with me, and it was the most uncomfortable thing, putting on this like fake persona and, you know, introducing these young, naive kids into the high school experience. And, you know, walking through the school and just like showing them, you know, where the classes are, you know, and all of that, and just kind of walking through the daily process. It was really uncomfortable and stressful for me. But me being me, I'm a very honest human being, and I look out for the best for people, you know, even if they don't want to hear it at the time. You know, I say my piece, and then I just, you know, if you need me, I'm around, type of thing. So one of the parents, so this tour was with students and with the parents, I guess. It's how it worked. And one of the parents brought up bullying. Like, how does the school deal with bullying? Because back then, you know, the campaigns were starting more frequently about, you know, we're putting an end to bullying and all that. And so the other ambassador kind of looked at me, and I'm like, I will answer this question. And, you know, if this gets reported back to the office, just, you know, say it was all on me. And, like, the parents kind of looked at me, and the students looked at me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be full on honest with you guys. You know, there are some really good experiences that people have had with this school. You know, and I'm not going to stand here and, you know, deny that. Unfortunately, there has also been some really bad experiences when it comes to bullying and abusive situations. And depending on who you are, they will act accordingly. And if you're in the good graces of the teachers and staff at this school, they might help you. And that is a big might. I'm like, I don't mean to deter you from coming to this school, because there are some good classes and programs here for if you're looking for hands-on experiences for cooking, childcare, woodwork, metalcore, all that stuff. And, you know, the regular courses are quite good too. But unfortunately, if you're not in the right crowd, I guess it is, that the school tends to turn a blind eye when it comes to bullying, or very aggressive situations. Again, you know, I just want that to be a thought in people's minds. And I kind of like turned to the parents and I said, please fight for your children. If no one is listening, continue to fight on. You know, have conversations with your children, and, you know, if something's wrong and you see their behavior change, look into it. Don't get it all in their faces, but, you know, make sure their voice is being heard, and make sure that their problems are being, you know, met head on, and, you know, the school is working to solve problems if a situation does come up of bullying or other things. And the group was very shocked. I know that kind of seems like it took a very dark turn, but for me, I was going to be as honest as possible. That these parents needed to know coming into this school that this school was very picky when it came to people that they liked. You know, especially for me in my situation, like, it was very black and white. Like, you know, they would say all these nasty things to me and treat me certain ways, and not help me. And then they would be like, oh yeah, she's one of our best students type of thing. And this is why she's on the tour with you. And like, I wasn't the prize to put on a pedestal or shine a light on and do that rah, 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 we have good students here. I wasn't going to be that person because it made me feel uncomfortable. Because the fact is, the truth is that if they didn't like you or you didn't fit into a certain crowd, they would not fucking help you, the staff. Especially if the situation continued, they would get pissed off. And, you know, I wanted to let these parents know and these students know that if a situation does come up, that it might not easily be handled or solved. And, you know, did I get in trouble for that? Yeah, I did. I got called into the office and, you know, I got asked why did I say those things, and I looked at them and said I was being completely honest. I was like, sometimes you guys do not take bullying or other situations related to bullying very seriously. You treat it like it's a joke, or that you're not bothered by it, or you roll your eyes, or you sigh, or you blame the person who's being attacked. And, you know, I just wanted them to know that they, you know, that yes, there's some really good programs here in the school, but unfortunately when it comes to personalized situations, it's not always the best, and parents shouldn't give up on their child easily and to fight for their child. That is their right to know that. And coming from a student, I think it was my responsibility to share that. And boy, did that piss off some people. But, you know, they weren't happy with what I was saying to their face. But, you know, I felt really good inside. Because, you know, it was coming, when was this? This was like April, May, June-ish area. It was coming to the end of my time at that school. And I was just, you know, so past the point of giving a fuck that, you know, what more can they do? You know, they suspended me. They, you know, didn't believe me. They treated me like crap. You know, teachers would call me nasty names in class and point me out and just treat me like garbage. So what more could they do? Could they expel me? Sure, but that would look bad on their asses, especially if I had a scholarship. And what was their, you know, they didn't have two legs to stand on when going through this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they didn't have a reason to expel me. I was just being completely honest. And, you know, that really didn't bode well for them. Like, you know, it didn't, I guess, it looked bad for the school. Of course it did, because, you know, those parents would go and talk to other parents and talk to their kids. And, you know, again, I was trying to protect those kids coming in. You know, I was 18 at the time, and they were like, you know, 13, 14 coming into the school. And, you know, I wanted to protect them. I wanted to make sure that they were protected and the parents knew that, you know, just, you know, have your child's back, basically. But, you know, was I asked to be an ambassador again? No. They kind of banished me from being an ambassador, after that situation, because they're like, yeah, you know, we want people to come to our school. And it's just like, well, if you want that, then fucking do shit. But yeah, that was an experience. But also, through that experience, I had to, so for our hands-on classes for like metal shop, wood shop, childcare, cosmetology, auto there was a whole bunch of classes, cooking, baking, greenhouse. We had to walk through those classes with these students. And I would have the other ambassador lead the group through those certain ones that I knew the group of 6 were in, because again, I did not feel comfortable being in a room with them, and technically I wasn't supposed to be in a room with them. And I even brought that up with the VP at the time. I was like, you do know that I'm gonna have to go touring through the classrooms, and you do know that this bullshit contract that they pulled out of their ass said that we couldn't have contact, right? So I was in a room with them, which technically I wasn't supposed to be because of their contract. If you guys are wondering what the contract thing is, I do have a video talking specifically about the contract. Just go look for it. It's an interesting one. But anyways, back on track. And I brought that up to them. I was like, so I'm not going to get in trouble, right? Like, for being in the room while being an ambassador, and they might be there type of thing. Like, I know how childish it sounds and very, like, petty and very, like, I had to spell it out. And, you know, they kind of just, like, rolled their eyes at me and was like, well, grow up type of thing. And I'm like, no, I'm being fucking serious. And I actually used that, like, got in trouble for it, but whatever. I'm just like, will I get in trouble? Will there be repercussions against me for doing a job that you want me to do, but I'm being in the same room as them? And they said no. And I'm like, can I have that in fucking writing? Like, and they kind of looked at me like I was fucking crazy. I'm like, no, I want that in writing, that I won't be in trouble. And they did. I made them write it out and sign it. And then I signed it. That is how serious this got. How this point in my life, I was like, seriously? Like, I have to ask for, like proof, and, like, you can't go against this because you said it type of thing. Like, actual physical proof and not just word of mouth. Because I wanted my ass covered. I learned that the hard way when I, you know, was bringing up certain, like, brought up a certain situation and they said, oh, we didn't say that. Well, bullshit, you didn't. So I always asked for it in writing, which pissed them off more, but that's the whole thing. But anyway, so yeah, that was like a whole thing that I had to do for this. And of course, you know, they would be there and they would be groping their new girlfriend and stuff and trying to make me feel uncomfortable in the whole situation. And I just got the fuck out with that group of people and went around my business. But yeah, I literally had that in signing. So, related to this, so one of the teachers, I do believe it was the metal shop teacher, reported to the office that I was in the classroom with them. And of course that was brought up by the guidance counselor. Actually, I got called in by the guidance counselor. So the office didn't even know about this, okay? So I got called into the my counselor's office, and they're like, well, why are we in this classroom? I'm like, first of all, call the VP. Call the VP into this room right now. And my guidance counselor was like, well, I was like, that is fucking necessary. Call them in. So they called them in. The VP came. And I said, before we go any further, I don't know what mixed information you got. I was literally speaking to the counselor. I was a student ambassador that I was asked by such and such, the VP here. And they concurred. And yes, I was in a room with them. I got signed paper saying that that was okay and that I wasn't going to get in trouble for it. The two adults in the fucking room looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, no. Because Ms. So-and-so reported me to the office for being in the room with them, which I wasn't, you know, doing anything. I was doing my fucking job that I was asked to do. And I'm like, this seems fucking childish to me. Like, you guys are grown-ass adults. Like, figure this out. And I'm like, why wasn't anybody told that this was happening? Like, none of the staff. Like, why wasn't any of the staff informed, first of all, that I was a student ambassador? Second of all, that I got permission to come into the classroom that, you know, the group of 6 might be in. And that it was okay because I was doing a job for the school. Why wasn't this communicated throughout the fucking staff? Like, I was so pissed off. Like, I knew this was coming. Obviously, I knew. I wasn't stupid. I knew this was coming. But I was just so fucking frustrated by it that I was like, you guys need to figure out what's going on in your shit and then let me know. Because, yes. And they both looked at me. And I was like, you signed the fucking paper and you dated it, so don't even start in my face right now. Like, I was just so, like, done. And so they're like, yeah, she got permission and stuff and whatnot, and it was okay, and we should have communicated it throughout the staff. I was like, no fucking shit. I didn't say that to them, but I was thinking it. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, first of all, okay, to that teacher, I was wearing an ambassador shirt, sorry, that literally said fucking tours on the back of my shirt and ambassador on it, in big, bold, blue letters, so it wasn't, like, hiding, and I made sure that it was fucking well noticeable. So, hello. Why would, if you saw that with a group of parents and students, me being in the group, and that ambassador talking and whatnot, and if the parents asked me a question, I would respond, report that to the office that I was egging on one of the group of 6. Like, do you know how childish that is? And, like, I don't even know. But the group of 6 did have this teacher in their, I don't know. It was some weird shit going on in that. I was like, I don't even want to know. Their pocket, basically, and she was very infatuated by a few of them. Not to, you know, call out anybody, but it was a really creepy situation. But yeah, like, she enjoyed reporting me for them. Like, this wasn't the first time, and this is why I needed that fucking consent by the VP saying that it was okay, because I knew something was gonna happen like this. But yeah, like, for her just to do that is just so childish, like, and such a waste of fucking time for everybody. But that's, like, the shit I was dealing with up to the point that I was leaving, and even after I was still dealing with shit, which you guys, I did 2 videos on that I was invited to the reunion or anniversary or some shit, and then I was uninvited to it. I did videos on that too. Still dealing with shit, like, even after I left. Like, it was just so frustrating. But yeah, there's another story time video done. I know, sometimes you'll probably watch these videos being like, really? They really put you through this shit? Yep, they really put me through my shit, this shit. Like, the one time they asked me to be a student ambassador, it was the only time, because shit hit the fan. Of course it did. Why wouldn't it? It's me. And that's cool. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna end this video here, because I got work tomorrow, so that's exciting stuff. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well. Remember, never give up, always keep fighting, you're enough, and you're very much loved. Until the next video, guys, stay safe. And I will hopefully be back with, like, a kind of better schedule. Still trying to figure out my health here, but we're getting through it. We are getting through this. Anyways, guys, thank you for all the love and support and kind words of, you know, get well wishes. So anyways, guys, have a good evening. Love you guys.